So I wanted to make another reaction video and watch some Ragnarok Online, Ragnarok Zero Global content, but it's like whenever I go on YouTube, it's just me and Dong in the freaking search results, like all the time. Like any other Ragnarok video is not about Ragnarok Zero Global. It's about Iroh. There's this girl. There's this guy talking about pre-renewal stuff and private servers, and we don't do that here. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on, there's someone else. Cash about to play my first impressions on Ragnarok Zero Global after open beta. There we go, Game Citizen. I don't know that
This
guy.
is my first impressions of Ragnarok Zero
Let's
Global.
go. Okay.
It's funny, you can also move the logo in this one. Most Ragnaroks, you can move the logo. Anyway, that's the global server. That's not actually global,
That was always the
right?
case.
I mean, it's Europe, Asia, and Oceania. So the Americas, you cannot play here. So if you're in Mexico, Canada, United States, Brazil,
Jesus,
Colombia, you cannot play this one. You can use a
Hopefully not
VPN,
on
of
live
course,
recording.
but it's not for the Americas, at least not yet. And it's a different kind of Ragnarok. I've been playing in closed beta. Today's the last day of the closed beta. And it was...
Yeah, one correction. It was an open beta, not closed beta.
Interesting. Let's put it this way. It was interesting. It's not bad, but it's not great either. Like, it's... And I have to test more, to be honest. And I want to tell you guys some of my experience, so you know as well, so you can get to know more the server, how it is. Okay, so first things first. The game is really Ragnarok. Like, it's Ragnarok. Is it classic Ragnarok? Not really. Let me give an example of how this is.
No, it's not, and it was never advertised that it's gonna be classic Ragnarok.
Not really classic Ragnarok. Not only because Islud is a bit different, like not the ancient Islud, right? Here, if you...
Nobody ever said this is gonna be classic Ragnarok. This was just like the first time, but it's Ragnarok Zero, not Ragnarok Classic or anything like this.
go to buy the NPC to buy stuff, you can... Okay, you can buy some stuff here, you can buy empty bottles, and like some servers don't have empty bottles, but you can already buy these scrolls. That this one I think is only for the map, this one is for the whole world. It doesn't sell everything, but this already shows that this is a renewal thing. That's from the renewal. Something very important is this, like you can already buy the arrows with the quivers. Although more recent renew servers, they have even more than that. They sell like everything, and I expect this to have the same. In real Ragnarok, not all shops in all cities sell everything, but in these ones, they all sell everything everywhere. Everything everywhere, you're gonna find roughly the same stuff selling. Now, interestingly, you will see that...
That's incorrect for weapon vendors, though.
It's quite cheap, right? But this is much worse than actually dropping something. So the first thing that it's interesting is that if I want to go here, for instance, I want to buy an armor, and normally I would think that a good armor would be this one, for instance, right? Give me dexterity. But early on playing the game, I dropped a cotton shirt, and look what came with it. I get SP.
Yeah, so many people get surprised by those affixes. So that's super cool, though, right?
Plus 30, and I guess HP plus 280. And some HP recovery rate. But this was a game change in the beginning of the game for me, because, you know, as a novice, your stats are very low. So
yeah, all of these equipments are such a game changer. That's why they're so cool to drop.
I do have some
They're
gear
actually
here that
impactful
is from the cash shop, but the reason is because they were giving us cash shop this free... I don't know what KP stands for. I don't know,
Kafra points.
Kafra points, perhaps. But they were giving this to us, so we could test it. And it's nothing set on stone yet. They might change. They might decide not to put some stuff on here, but there is some stuff. So, for instance, there are these packs with these packages with all these armors, but they're not great, to be honest. Because look, you have this. Okay, it's a little bit, right? You think like, okay, attack delay.
No, it's bad.
Attack
It's
delay,
not worth the money.
reduced 3%. Is this
At
good?
all.
It's not good. Even my bow is good, but I could definitely drop a better bow than this one. Definitely.
The bow is great. The weapons
Look at
are
these
great.
sandals here. That is fantastic. I have dropped several good weapons, but since I'm an archer,
I'm liking this.
I didn't drop any good bow, so I'm using this one. But it's not fantastic. They said they are not going to have shadow gear, for instance. So you can see this is not really the experience of the pre-renew. this is a blend of Renew with Classic. So
Yep.
it feels a little bit more like playing Renew than pre-renewed, to be honest.
That's an interesting take. So it feels more like playing renewal. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I would definitely agree to that, except that it doesn't feel like new renewal. It feels like you're playing old Ragnarok with renewal mechanics baked into it, which makes the game easier and better. But the new renewal, the current renewal, would feel a lot different. Like Ragnarok in 2026, like if you go and play KRO or IRO, is like you wouldn't even recognize the game.
But there's something that is very, very important, and it's what defines this server. It's the auto attack, the auto hunt, right? It's auto play. I prefer to call it auto play. They call it auto hunt, but I prefer to call it auto play. Now, there is something also from Renew. There's this item here that you can teleport to whatever you want to go. So let's use this one, for instance. Uh, let's go here. This map here is great for archers to level up because the greatest general doesn't move. Okay, so here we are. So this does not activate. This is just to set up what you want to do. So I don't want it to attack all monsters. I want it to attack only the greatest general and the swift greatest general. Again, this is also renew. You see, this, don't think of this as per renew. Don't come into
Swift and champion monsters actually I think came from Zero, but I'm not sure. From KRO Zero first.
this game thinking that it's per renew. It is not.
Wait, I'm gonna play this again because this is super important what he just said.
The greatest general and the swift greatest general. Again, this is also renew. You see, this, don't think of this as per renew. Don't come into this game thinking that it's per renew. It is not. Also, it's not renew either. It's different than that as well.
Preach. Preach. Which is unfortunate. So many people have come to this game and were like expecting classic Ragnarok, classic pre-renewal Ragnarok Online from 20 years ago, which is not the case, obviously, and it was never supposed to be the case. But I don't know. It's a miscommunication on Gravity's side. Unfortunately, they weren't clear enough what this game is. They made it look like it's gonna be pre-renewal to some people, and some people are stuck 20 years ago still. They're playing on private servers that are stuck 20 something years ago, and this is what they think Ragnarok Online looks like still until up until this day, which is not true at all. So they have a very very hard time accepting that Zero is the way it is, and I think Zero is probably the best version that we got so far.
Mostly because the skills are different. Not for the archer. For the archer, it's the same. Although I already can. I don't know if it's going to be like this, but I didn't need to do any quests for these ones. I know
Well, archer skills are also different. Arrow Shower deals a lot more damage than in pre-renewal.
that some of the skills have changed, including for first class. It seems that Acolyte already has some skills that are from priests.
No, no, that's not true. Acolyte doesn't have any skills from Priest, but you do get Spear Mastery, for example, as a swordsman, as if that really changes anything.
But most importantly, the second classes, and I believe the transcendental classes, I'm not really sure, they already have some skills from the third classes. So they're reworked. The classes, they're all reworked.
Yeah, that's the
All
most
right, so we
important
can
part,
see that my
class-wise.
character is playing by itself, right? So you can set up the skills to use, when to use, supporting skills,
Okay, but
everything.
like we don't want to watch an auto hunting guide. Like we made one already. Let's move on to the next point. It's a good point to like include in a video for sure, though.
Because again, with the cash shop, you can have these things here, and they give quite a lot, specifically for the beginning of the game. This makes a lot of difference. If you can get like which one here, like this one, that's for meal, it gives plus 30 attack and plus 10 all stats. That's just fantastic, right? This is very nice. You can have this equipment stats, and it shows
Yeah,
all
this
that
is
I'm
very
gaining.
cool. This is super cool. The whole window that summarizes your equipment info that's been missing from the game for such a long time.
For my equipment. And look at this, it's a lot. I'm getting 459 of maximum HP. That's
Yep.
a lot. Like, this is insane, the amount of bonus I'm getting here. So they make a lot of difference, mostly in early game. But you can have lots of these that gain more experience, and you don't lose The death penalty is reduced.
Yeah, not gonna lie, the death penalty thing is kind of predatory. Like, why set it up to 10% gravity? What was the reason? The game mechanics reason. I can understand almost everything else, but why set it to 10%? What's the point? Why not 25%? Why not 70%? You know, why specifically 10%? Why not 3%? Why not keep it at what it was? This is the 10% thing, the death penalty is let's not kid ourselves, it's just so they can sell the death penalty reduction, which unfortunately is something that I have to agree is a little bit predatory because you're gonna go back to town a bunch of times in this game.
By the way, how much is it hard to level up? Look, 21.8%, 22.1. So it's 0.3. I'm level 41. And the greatest general, if I'm not mistaken, what's the level of the monster? It is 66. So like 15 levels above. And yeah, like it's not too much experience you get. However, you can just put on auto hunt and then it levels up for you. I can barely play nowadays. I mean, my life nowadays, I cannot play the game. And I think of this game, the best way to define this game, Ragnarok Global Zero Global, right? It's how they define gaming laptops. Gaming laptops, they suck. But for the people who
What?
need it, they're fantastic. Most
Oh my
people
god, that's such a good comparison to Game Citizen spitting facts. Oh my god, that was so good.
don't need a gaming laptop. If you can just have a desktop, just use your desktop is just better. And it's the same, I believe, for Ragnarok. If you have time to play, it's just better to play the normal Ragnarok. I believe it's just better. This one is particularly good for
Wait, no, that's not the point that he was making. At least I thought that's not the point he was making. Like, I think Zero is a lot better than any other version of Ragnarok. If you have time, if you don't have time, doesn't matter. It's so much better. Like the systems in current Ragnarok Online are so grindy, so refine intensive, so pay to win intensive, not gonna lie. The current Ragnarok Online in episode 22, or I think it is 22, right? Like I stopped playing in episode 20, is so it was already then like you were just doing the same thing in every episode, doing the farming materials for gear, upgrading that gear, enchanting that gear, then grading that gear, upgrading it again, grading it again, and you do it 5 times, and it just took so much of your the refinement materials and so many blacksmith blessings and so much cash shop incentive to be there. It was just insanity to do it, and you actually had to do it because the monsters were adequately difficult so that you couldn't really weasel your way around anymore. And the game is heavily incentivized towards solo play, and like it rewards you for doing stuff solo as well. So yeah, I think Zero is a lot better, especially if you're like coming back from like playing it 20 years ago, from playing the game 20 years ago. This is gonna feel more like home.
people who don't have time to play. Uh, it is nice because at least
And on that note, if you do have time to play, you're gonna beat everyone that doesn't have time to play and has to rely on auto hunting because, well, manual gameplay is a lot better and a lot more efficient, especially with classes that have access to great AoEs like Knight, for example, Rogue, for example. A Wizard is probably gonna be a lot better as well. So, yeah, if you have time to play, still play Ragnarok Zero. It's a great game. And it's a new experience that you haven't seen before.
you can have some Ragnarok in your life. Now,
Jesus, my
there
chair.
was one counter argument to that, which was that, okay, why
I
don't you
can feel
just
it
make the
break.
rates, increase the rates so the experience rate and the drop rate could be far more elevated? And that is true. This could be an option, but it is a bit different. In this one, you still need to enter the game to play. This is an idle game. This is mostly an idle game. Not mostly,
No,
because a lot of the
no,
content of the game you have to be there to play.
that's not true. It was only true because of the first jobs. We didn't get the full game. When I was in Frankfurt and I was meeting with Gravity, the amount of emphasis these guys put on party play in like second jobs gameplay is so massive that it feels like their actual goal is the party play, but the auto hunting and all of that stuff that is supposed to help us through the more grindy parts if we don't have the time of the day anymore as we used to back in the day, without changing the game so drastically and removing all of those parts, because some people like them. Like I like sitting down for an hour or two and grinding some monsters, but I have an option. I can either do it manually or I can do it auto hunting. But still there's the and the actual gameplay is revolving around party play. There's MVP raids, there are memorial dungeons which will be appropriately hard. There's more fever content coming out there. Like on Taiwan Zero, they got Glass Time Memorial Dungeon as well, I think. So there's a lot more party content coming out, and it's not mostly an idle game. Like I don't agree with that. The actual game is definitely not idle. You can use the idle elements to push yourself and to keep up with everybody else. That's the idea behind it.
But there is a huge part which is idle. So is it hard to level up? It's not hard in the sense, it is hard in the sense that the experience rate is quite low. The experience how many monsters you need to kill in order to level up, yeah, that's not too good. But you can just forget the character here and do something else and come back in hours. I don't know. It depends. Mostly you get the most from Auto Hunt if you're always checking exactly how idle games work. Every half
Do you? Depends on your goal. Like I set my mages auto hunting for like 24 hours straight. I didn't check on them once, and they just got to level 50 because I didn't make them do anything else besides killing the monsters. So if your goal is just like leveling up, then no, you don't have to check on anything. But if the map has elements that can take you by surprise, you know, and you didn't configure auto hunting properly, like you didn't configure your teleporting, your fly wings, your potions, you run out of potions, you don't have enough space because you're picking stuff up, blah 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 blah, then yeah, you're gonna have to check on it. But auto hunting was not designed to be left for 24 hours straight either. From what the developers said, it's more like, hey, I'm playing the game, but then I suddenly have to leave for like 2 hours, so that's what I'm gonna use the auto hunting for, and then I'm gonna come back and continue playing manually. Like it wasn't designed with like constant 24/7 auto hunting in mind, which is a side effect of it being there because I'm gonna use it that way probably, but you know that's not what it was made for.
an hour, come here, check how things are, and maybe go back to town, get more potions, stuff like this. Uh, I have to test more, and that's the reality. I have seen on Reddit lots of people super concerned with the cash shop, and I must say I'm
No, don't read Reddit. Reddit is like a cesspit of negativity. Of like, unfortunately, these guys need some happiness in their life. Like I've been to Reddit, the Ragnarok Online Reddit once or twice, and I wish I was, and I wish I never went there. Like it was so bad. I don't know what's in them, in those guys, to be so negative and to be so stuck in a box, like not wanting to open up to any sort of idea besides the one that they have in their head, which is incorrect, and just making it their life mission to spread that negativity. Like it's fine to not like something. Just don't like it, get rid of it in your life. That's it. Let it be. You don't have to engage with it if you don't like it. No one is forcing you to play this game. But these guys make it a point to actively get on Reddit, trash talk the game constantly for hours on end, for threads on threads on threads on threads, and they enjoy this. The whole negativity around it. This is like mind-boggling to me. Like it's a terrible, terrible situation on Reddit.
not that concerned with it. Okay, I don't like so much that there is enriched aluminium and iridicum here.
Again, it's not enriched. If you actually buy it and open it, it's not enriched. It's HD. They made a mistake with naming the cash shop.
But if they stop at this, I'm fine. Also, if the gear is just this kind of gear, who cares? It's so weak compared to what you can actually drop. I also like that they show the price. That's because of the law here in the European Union.
Yeah, that's great, right? I also agree. That's great that they actually show the price that you're buying the stuff for.
I think it makes a lot of sense to show the price here. And I can tell you, this spec
Because it was such a thing for like the last 15 years, or if not more, that you would obscure real costs to the customers by introducing this fake in-game intermediary currency that was of no consequence to the game whatsoever, like cash, like Kafra points. And then you would sell in Kafra points. So first you would have to buy Kafra points, and then you would buy items with those Kafra points, which was just an intermediary thing. And that was a practice in every single game, not just Ragnarok Online, every single game. So Europe got mad, and they're like, "Why are you doing this? We want to see, or we want the people to be able to see how much they're actually spending their money, on this stuff." And I love it. It's one of the cooler outcomes of the last couple years.
It's not worth 4 euros. It's definitely not worth 4 euros.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth 4 euros. Like those shining armors, I don't recommend you buy them. It's not worth it unless you have too much money. But you're gonna find something better within like 5 minutes of playing this game. So I don't, I don't even think it's worth it if you have too much money.
I wonder if it's the same price for all countries, and most likely it is, right? Because it's the same server, but that will punish people from lower income countries. Because 4 euros, I mean, for instance, I'm living in Germany, the minimum income here is far higher than the minimum income in Turkey. So it's harder for someone in Turkey to pay for this. So in that sense, I don't like this.
Okay, but we can. Would you mind? Would you like it to be adjusted? So just because you live in Germany, you would like to pay more, for example, than a person living in Turkey? I think that would be bad. That would be unfair. That would be extremely unfair. So because that's the only alternative, right? Maybe lower the prices overall, but then still that doesn't change anything because you can still buy more of those items than the guy from Turkey, right? The only alternative that we have to fixing this is adjusting the prices based on your region, but then living in a more wealthy quote unquote region would be a punishment for you. So you would probably then hop onto a VPN and make yourself look like you're from Turkey, like from your example. So I don't. I think a set price for every single country should be the same. Like that's fairness.
Uh, uh, in general,
I'm sure there are people in Germany who wouldn't be able to afford this either.
I wish there was no shop at all, at all, at all, at all. But so far, this cash shop that exists here, I think this is just like for you to level up faster. Now,
Exactly, right? It's a decent cash shop. It's not bad at all.
what about this one? That's quite good, right? Especially this one, right? But you can cook meals in Ragnarok. You can get this through other means.
That's true. You can cook food.
And let's see what they will introduce in the game. But usually there are different ways in which you can get this kind of potions.
And they said that you will be able to get those things from daily logins as well and from events. So it's not like only the cash shop people or people who participate in the cash shop will be able to uh, grab a hold of those items because there will be event versions of those items available to everybody.
Is it good? Yes, of course they are good. But
Yes, of
I
course.
don't know if they
But
are
they're
like
not
pay
game
to
breaking.
win. But even if it does come, maybe it will happen. Maybe it will become pay to win. Most Ragnarok servers are pay to win anyway. It's not like we've been playing on wonderful servers. Now, there are some servers which are not pay to
Sure.
win, but most are pay to win. Compared to those, this is not so much. I must
Okay,
say,
let's move on to the next argument.
a
Not
key
argument, but thing that he will be talking about. Oh, the PvP area. I haven't
to the
explored
healer
it
word.
that
And
much.
apart,
Let's
so you
see.
get this one here. And then you use it, and you get a bonus when you use it. You get like 10% more experience and drop rate. You talk to this NPC here, the novice with this smiley mask, and okay, you go into theoretically a. You see, people do say stuff, and there are many groups. You can find groups and you can find guilds. Uh, you talk to him, and you go to the PvP map, and the problem with this is that I have not yet seen people in the PvP. That's my problem.
Is it a problem? I mean, generally people don't like PvP. I would wager most people that play Ragnarok Online do not like participating in PvP.
I cannot use the teleport. Interesting. I have not seen people here, so I don't know yet how it's gonna be. Like, is it a map that you can find more things? I didn't understand it very well, to be honest. What's the role of this map? I think it's interesting if it's like
I think the role of this map is just to give you an incentive to try PvPing, and it gives you the reward of 10% more XP and item drop rates. But the risk is so high that I don't see people really trying it out, because you still lose 10% of your XP if you die on this map. And you kind of fly wing. It makes it makes farming a lot more difficult too. So I don't know
an
what the
kind of a
incentive really
open
should be
world
to make it
PvP.
work.
I think that's very interesting. But maybe MVPs will only be found in these. I think that makes a lot of sense, perhaps, to introduce some sort of PvP when there is an MVP. But I'll be honest here, I don't know. Look, there's no
Most people don't want that. Like the people who want PvP are loud usually about it. They will tell you that they like PvP and they want a PvP, all that. That's why it sometimes seems like it. Like so many people like War of Imperium and PvP. But I think the fact of the matter is most people don't play that because most people don't want to get absolutely destroyed. Most people don't know. They're just bad at the game. And that's the reality of it. I don't think you should mix PvE with PvP. And if you do, it should always be optional. But for those of you who like PvP, which I do, I like Battlegrounds, right? I don't necessarily like War of Imperium, but I like Battlegrounds. I do agree that Gravity could kind of add more incentives for people to try PvP and see if they do like it, maybe. So let's move on from this one.
it's impossible to get fly wings and you have to buy. It's not too much, 250 to be honest. Overall, the experience of playing the closed beta, and let me be clear, the experience of playing the closed beta, I don't know how it's going to be after. I know that the XP rate will most likely drop, but we don't know that yet. Maybe they will check the data and think they're like, well,
No, I mean, I think it will go back to being normal because they gave us bonuses for open beta so we can level faster and test things out in the game. And that was the whole purpose of those level bonuses. But at release, I don't think they're gonna do anything like that. Maybe for the first day, just like a event, launch event, you know. But I don't know. Probably not so much.
maybe it should be higher. I was using a lot this word transfer ticket.
Yeah, it's awesome,
So we
right?
just set up, go somewhere, and level up there. And the problem with this is that I'm not moving around the map, nor am I actually doing much of the playing.
Well, that's because you have them for free. And that's why you're just using them like that. That's something that should be taken into consideration. You get them from cash shop for the most part and from like daily logins and events, and that's it. Once the game releases, you will probably be a lot more careful on how you use the limited amount of tickets that you get because you're gonna have to spend real money in order to get them again.
So it feels a bit strange. It feels that um, I'm not playing the game at all. That's mostly how it feels. It feels the opposite of what I've been saying
I
about how to
agree, it
have
has a
fun with the
different
game.
feeling though. Yeah.
Then why am I playing this? You must have noticed that I have very few videos on my channel. That's because I literally don't have time to play. And to edit, then even less. To record and edit, even less. But recently, and because of that, I bought a laptop so that I can, because I spend a lot of time commuting, so I don't have any time. And so now I have my normal desktop and a laptop. This means that I can just let the desktop running and playing the game.
Woof. Bro, that's what I did. I bought a like special laptop that's like right next to me just so I can play Ragnarok Online on it. That's it. That's the only thing the laptop is for.
Uh, it's interesting. It fits my life. I cannot deny that.
It
I
does,
wish
right? I agree. It fits my life as well. Play for like half an hour, leave it on, come back, play for like 15 minutes here and there.
I didn't like the game as it is. I came to it predisposed to dislike it. And that's not what happened. What happened is that actually it was kind of pleasurable.
That's nice to hear. So the guy said that he came to the game predisposed to not like it, and he was pleasantly surprised. That's nice. All right, I think we've seen the most points that he has in this video. I think I'll end it here because it's um, very long already. Great video, Game Citizen. Thank you so much for letting me view it. I will probably finish viewing it off recording, off camera. I invite you guys to watch his channel, and I'll see you in the next video.